Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. How are you doing on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon? Hopefully your day is off to a great start. I'm seeing so many comments in the live chat already. Is it the Met Gala? Is that what you guys are so excited about? By the way, before we get into that, shout out to our newest channel members. We've got Acacia joining the crew. Good news for you, Acacia. I think it was actually you who had asked me to review Beyonce's mom, Miss Tina's new book. Well, I've got access to her audiobook, and I'm going to be doing that with my channel members either today or tomorrow. So that's coming up. So you've joined just in time. Shout out to you too, Sandy. Welcome to the channel membership. We've got that going on, and we're finishing off the last chapter of Caitlin and Tyler's memoir. What was it called? Conquering Chaos. So thank y'all so much for joining. See you soon with those videos. Good morning. Bonjour, Remster. Good morning, Jessica, Ashley, Acacia, Venetia. Shemjem, you're back. How are you doing, boo? Good morning, Gala, East Awesome, Bunny, Leah, Tadisha, Ashley, Shonda. Wow, so many of you are here. Hey, Steph, Monica, Dawn, Amanda, Lucky. So nice to have you all here. Listen, like I said, we have got so much to talk about in today's morning report. Yesterday was the Met Gala, and there was just so much that happened leading up to the Met Gala itself that I really want to talk about. Like Shemjem says, Rihanna is on baby number 3, and she made the announcement at the Met Gala, or leading up to the Met Gala as well. Let me put up that beautiful photo of her fabulous outfit. So, I'm thinking about all the announcements that Rihanna has made for her children over the years. The first one really broke the internet. It was some kind of like sartorial photo shoot that she did with like a famous photographer and stylist and whatnot. So that was really cool for baby number 1. Then for baby number 2, we found out at the Super Bowl. And here we go with baby number 3, finding out at the Met Gala. Which pregnancy announcement was your favorite? Every single one was creative in its own right. And I love every single announcement. I can't even pick, I really can't. But congratulations to she. And why am I trying to say Fetty Wap? She's not having kids with Fetty Wap, is she? Congratulations to her and ASAP Rocky. Listen, we all knew when that man was acquitted of his charges, was found not guilty of all those charges, that they were getting knocked up that night. So come on now. This is no surprise at all. Ashley says, Grace, I just heard Scooter Braun owns part of Rhode. Oh, I had no idea. I didn't know this. Mind blown. Well, I wonder how that works out with the conflict of interest, because it seems as though Scooter Braun and Justin Bieber have fallen out, like truly fallen out. So I wonder how that works. Are they going to try to force him to kind of sell his stake or something else? Stay tuned. I'll take a look at that and see what else, what else is going on there. East Awesome says, did you guys hear the prosecution locating a Diddy witness and their attorney? No, I had no clue. I never heard of an attorney being MIA. Is Great Support going to have Diddy coverage when the trial begins? I didn't know about this. I do have a Diddy story for you guys involving all the celebrities that were named when they were interviewing potential jury members. But this is something I have to bookmark as well to keep to the side. Oh, Lord, y'all have so many like little things here today that you want me to talk about. Okay, so let me see. Minnie says, I don't think you cover Gypsy Rose. I do. I enjoy covering her. But I was watching a live and she was talking to her ex-husband. Yup. You know what? I completely forgot about that story. I am aware of that with Gypsy Rose, and she was talking about like feeling confused and all this stuff. Then she went online and started talking in this weird like accent that is completely like, the accent is not weird. It's weird because it's not her accent, if you know what I mean. So thanks for that too, Minnie, for reminding me. I got to get back on and cover that because I do have the info on that. I am aware of that. You guys, why don't we quickly go over the Met Gala red carpet looks? Because, I have to say, this is one of my favorite themes so far for the Met Gala. Everybody showed up and showed out. And for the first time, in my opinion, the men outdressed the women as a whole, right? So many women were fabulously dressed, of course. But in my opinion, the men really rocked this. Like the theme was called Tailoring Black Style. And I feel like a lot of men we're finally able to really bring it in the style department. Typically, like, they add a little, belt across, a diagonal belt or something, just to say that they tried for whatever theme. But this time they really brought it. It was a really, really good theme. So congratulations to Anna Wintour, Lewis Hamilton, and Coleman Domingo for this year's Met Gala. All of them were the chairs, okay? I loved Keith Powers' outfit. I also really enjoyed, this is my stick that I'm putting on lipstick with. I also really enjoyed Janelle Monáe's outfit. She was really repping it for the ladies. She always knows how to go with these avant-garde looks. And so this really was up her alley. So I truly love that. And then Andre 3000 showing up with like a piano on his back. And like, I feel like this theme is really meant for people like him because he is very much in like, the avant-garde sort of like, style of dress and whatnot. So it really, totally fit him and the way that you typically see him. So I'm glad that he was able to remain true to himself, when showing up for this event. And, it's been a while since I'd actually seen him. So it was really cool to see him as well in general. And then we also had Shabuzi, who totally crushed it. I love the pearls on his outfit. I love the hat. The fact that he went and got blue grills to match the pearls. Listen, ordinarily in day-to-day, if a man were walking around with blue grills, I'd be like, oh, not a fan. But for the purposes of the Met Gala red carpet, he totally rocked it. Like he went all the way. And this is exactly what you come here to see, right? Somebody else who totally crushed it on the red carpet was none other than Miss Lauryn Hill. She looked absolutely stunning, all in yellow. She even had someone to hold her umbrella who was fabulously dressed, by the way. She had this gold fan. It was giving Angela from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all know Angela and her hot flashes, how she always has a fan and whatnot. Lauryn Hill had a fan with her, and it was like a golden fan that she used to cool herself off the entire time that I absolutely loved. And then we also had some amazing looks from Usher and his wife. I think the both of them absolutely did not come to play. They looked absolutely amazing. I love the tailoring on both of their outfits. They looked really, really sharp, as my parents would say. I also really loved Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's outfit as well. Like the red was absolutely stunning on her. I love the flair and the drama of it all. I actually wasn't expecting to see her at the Met Gala, so it was a really good surprise to see her there as well. Regina King totally rocked it with her suit as well. There was a fantastic mix of like women in suits versus women in dresses. Again, like the theme really loaned itself to like women wearing like really powerful, amazing like suits as well, right? So one of the women who wore a really gorgeous suit was Zendaya. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a photo of her, uploaded here, but Zendaya rocked it. She was all in white. She had this beautiful hat going across the side and everything as well. Loved her look. Some people were panning it. They were saying that they wish that it was more dramatic, this or that. But sometimes just the clean lines and just like the elegance is just what it is, right? Because the theme is about tailoring, and that suit was perfectly tailored to her. Now, I want you guys to take a look at Doechie's outfit, okay? So here's Doechie. She went with a Louis Vuitton, and she even had like a Louis Vuitton kind of like embossed in her face, right? The logo. What do you guys think about it? Is this your favorite look thus far? What is your favorite look thus far? Because Doechie's look involved a lot of drama to get her to the red carpet. And I don't know if you guys have seen it or if you've heard about it on the internet or anything like that, but there was so much drama. So what happened essentially was that Doechie was caught on camera, both in photos and in videos, at her hotel, right? And so accidentally, she was coming out of the elevator in her outfit with her squad, and accidentally, like, the door opened and like, she was spotted in that outfit before she hit the red carpet. And that caused her to panic. She truly, truly panicked, you guys. She panicked. And unfortunately, when she panicked, she started treating her team terribly. And I've got the videos of all of this, right? Rester thought it was in the background. No, like he was carrying it, dude. Like, isn't that crazy? The amount of like energy, strength it takes to be carrying that little baby piano, right? And I do have Diana Ross's photo. Stay tuned for that, Tadisha. I didn't see Pusha T, or did I? I don't think I saw Pusha T. I'm gonna have to go back and look for him a little bit later. Thanks for that, by the way. Bunny says Little Richard is the original black dandy of rock. Did you know black jazz players were fined for wearing zoot suits? I had absolutely no idea. You know, it makes me so sad. The more you learn about like black history, the more sad you are, you know, like, and just angry on their behalf of all the things that they had to go through for literally no reason, just any and everything to make their lives as difficult as possible. It's disturbing. It truly, truly is. And for what, right? Good morning, Kristen. Good morning, Ronnie. Nice to see y'all. Was it you, Kristen, or you, Ronnie, who went away on a cruise to Mexico? I'm trying to remember who it was because I haven't seen my crew, my girl who went on a cruise in a while. Gwen says, love the glasses. Thank you. You know, these are my Meta glasses that I like to wear when I'm like bike riding and taking my little videos on them. Julissa says, I love Dochi's because it was actually a mark of the theme. Yes, it was a really cool outfit. Really, really was. And hey, Cremboulet, Zendaya, Lupita, Jodie, Tiana Taylor was the best dressed. Those are really, really good picks. I agree with you. I really love those looks as well. And I've got more photos that I want to show you. I just had to pause on Dochi's look because of the amount of drama that unfolded when she was getting ready to go onto the red carpet. So like I said, she was spotted at her hotel in her outfit and she was not happy about it. Take a look at the video. We'll talk about it on the flip side, okay?
Give me another, no, stop. Give me another umbrella now. Another one right there. And another one. Need another one.
Another umbrella.
Excuse me. I need four fucking umbrellas.
Two more umbrellas.
Right there.
Two more umbrellas.
All right, make a path, everyone.
Clear a path. Move. Clear a path here. Clear a path.
And do not let that one umbrella. I will not.
You look great.
Move these umbrellas. I don't want these people to see me. I got it. Move the umbrella. Are you blocking it? Right now. Your umbrella there. Yes.
You're blocked.
Yes.
Oh. Somebody.
So there you go. Listen, I think Doechii was extremely stressed out because this was going to be her first Met Gala red carpet ever. It was her big debut, but it is true that the way that she treated her team was very like, oh, like kind of heart-wrenching to watch her kind of like curse everybody out and just be so like rude, right? East Awesome says, the dark side of creativity. She sounds a little like Kanye. And I was so surprised. To me, the way she sounded was the way that people kind of imitate what they imagine like these diva celebrities can be like. And the fact that she lived up to it, I was like, no, not my Doechii, not my damn Doechii. Like, I love her so much. And I really hope that this was a one-time thing. I hope that she apologized to everybody that she treated that way because it really, really was not cool. Acacia says, not her cursing like that. I know. I'm so shocked. Like, I thought she was just a sweet, like, nice girl who was so happy she made it off of YouTube, TikTok into like the big, the big leagues and whatnot. But how quickly these things go to your head, right? Jalisa says it didn't even sound that bad. Okay, maybe I'm like overthinking it, but yeah, I was so damn surprised about it. Yaya says she is such a diva already. Kristen says it sounds like anxiety to me, but rude for sure. Exactly. I really think it was the amount of pressure. Remember, she is the first female rapper to win the Best Rap Album of the Year Grammy since Lauryn Hill, like way back when, right? There's a lot of pressure on her shoulders and whatnot. Ali says the way she treated her team was very disheartening. However, this would never happen to a white pop star. Think Sabrina Carpenter. No one is at her hotel room doors basically snapping photos. Really? Because I thought that that was part of the whole sport of the thing, right? Is to capture the people even before the Met Gala. For example, she's from South Africa, our adorable little tiger, Tyla. So she was photographed at her hotel the day before the Met Gala. And speaking of, I have to say, what Tyla was wearing when she was photographed there to me was a million times better than what she wore to the Met Gala red carpet. I loved her sandy dress, like for her first year, for her big debut. But this year it fell flat to me. I was really excited when I saw her with like the June Ambrose sort of inspired outfit. But then when she showed up on the carpet with a plain white dress, I said, oh, okay, girl. Hey, Kahara, I agree, Jaleesa. I didn't think it was that bad. And I really hope that, people will give her a chance and continue to enjoy her music moving forward because, it was a bad moment. And I think it was fueled by stress more so than by diva antics. Hey, Steph. Good morning, y'all. Yeah, Dochi from Florida. She's a real Florida gator. The gators mixed with your image and whatnot, it just looks like chef's kiss. The water you're in with all the trees and whatnot. Oh, I love it. It just gave me the perfect visual. Bunny says, Dochi's from Tampa. Some of the young women curse without knowing they're doing it. So it's one of those things, like it's not to be rude. It's just like you curse sort of a deal. Okay, good. I'm happy then. I'm happy because I love Dochi and I really want her to win. And I don't want for her to develop a bad reputation, only one album in, right? Issa says, I'm finally able to catch a live. Hi. Hey, Issa. Nice to have you. Hello, Two Snaps in the Z formation. Nice to see you too, boo. Issa Awesome says, was Coco Jones at the gala? She sure was. She absolutely was, though I do not have a photo of her because she didn't make my best dress list. Womp, womp, womp. Sorry. And good morning, Cynthia, by the way. Nice to see you, boo. So I did see some comments mentioning Diana Ross, and she did make it onto my best dress list. Let me pull up her photo of her in her fabulous dress. Here's something that was really shocking for me to learn, which is that this was Diana Ross's first time ever attending the Met Gala, which is so crazy considering the icon that she is, right? And she really knocked it out of the park. I feel like this totally is her era, her wheelhouse, and she really showed up and showed out. And then over here, we also have some other fantastic dress people, including Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats. I love how she incorporated his colors, but then had like the inverse of them as well. I love like the Rick James braids and whatnot. I thought that they as a couple looked really, really good here. Some of the couples really rocked it. Like I said, Usher and his wife also rocked it. Savannah James, she looked really good. I didn't see her on you guys' best dress list. I think maybe some people didn't see her outfit at all, but here she is looking absolutely stunning, super duper fly as well. We also had Hunter Schafer, who looked really stunning. Again, another simple outfit, but the tailoring and just everything was so chic. I love the little beret that she has on her head as well. Shout out to those of you who were loving Lupita Nyong'o's look as well. Shout out to my Kenyan sister in her Nairobi blue. She looked absolutely stunning. Like, wow. You know what this color of blue looks like to me, especially on her? Like a fresh drink of water. When you're like dehydrated or something, and then you get some really good cold water, like that. Like that's what it looks like to me. The taste of that fresh gulp of some good, clean, cold water. Super duper stunning. We've also got Tiana Taylor. She was, I think, on pretty much everybody's best dress list as well. And I think she knew she did the damn thing because she wanted to make sure to be the first person to step foot on that red carpet. And you know what? It was a fantastic opening outfit, and it still stays in our memory, right? Despite being the first one. Typically, like if you arrive really early, people can forget. But this was so good. And again, this is another celebrity that always embodies this theme, right? So I'm not surprised that she knocked it out of the park. And for good measure, we'll put Rihanna's photo back up again. Her and her beautiful baby bump. The way that she changed the game when it comes to women showing off their baby bumps and whatnot. It's not talked about enough. And so I just want to shout out to her for that as well. She looked absolutely amazing. Long live Bad Gal Riri. And please, dear Lord, let it be a girl this time. I want Rihanna 2.0 to be the next CEO of Fenty Beauty, Fenty Skin, Fenty Hair, Savage X Fenty. Come on, girl. You go ahead. You do the damn thing. Jaleesa says, Diana Ross's first time, but stinky Selena. Now, why stinky? Haley, Charlie D'Amelio, and others get invited every year. The Met needs to do better. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if she was not, I doubt that she wasn't being invited. I feel like she probably just never felt like going until now at this point. I don't know what would drive her to suddenly want to go, right? Maybe it was the theme. Maybe it was like the people. Maybe she's like, listen, I'm at that point where, you know, I've only got a couple good summers left, right? Let me go ahead and make the most of it and get outside or something. I don't know, but I do think she was probably invited. But your comment made me laugh so hard. Gwen said Hunter was there. Love her perfect portrayal of Tigris Snow in Songbirds and Snakes. And yes, she was. And she looked absolutely stunning. And I'm loving all of the love for Lupita as well. She always knocks it out of the park. And oh my God, Acacia. You know, I was going to say, well, what if they did gender selection? But I know that they got knocked up as soon as they got out of that courtroom. So no, I don't think they did gender selection, but I am really hoping that it is a girl. Please, 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 dear Lord. Not that it's going to affect my life in any way, but I would love to see, like, you know, a baby Riri. Oh my God, the looks that she would have. She would have the most gorgeous daughter. Now, you guys, oh Lord, we got to get into the demon Diddy. Guards, bring him out. Yup, here he is. Sean P. Diddy Combs. Yup, there. Oh, so you know how? Oh, there you could. Let me stop it. Guards, that's enough. That's enough. We're talking about him now. You know how P. Diddy's like trial started pretty much yesterday with them starting with like the jury selection, asking them a bunch of questions and whatnot to see who could be qualified. Well, some of the questions included what kind of celebrities they are familiar with. And, you know, the list of celebrities might surprise you. In fact, there were over 100 celebrities on this list. So it's pretty much just to see how well versed they are in pop culture in general, how strong their opinions are on celebrities in the first place. Like, are these attention seekers, this sort of thing, right? So some of the celebrities on the list included Kanye West, Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and Kid Cudi. And Rolling Stone magazine confirmed that Michael B. Jordan will not be called as a witness in the trial. However, and this is something I forgot about. Remember, here on the Grace Report YouTube channel, we've really been into like the Diddy of it all. Like, we've been following the criminal case, Cassie's lawsuit against him. And apparently in Cassie's lawsuit, she had alluded to her Michael B. Jordan. So when she was telling a story about how she was spending some time with a certain male actor in 2015, that Diddy then called and threatened, that was Michael B. Jordan, you guys. And she was entertaining him during a break from her relationship with P. Diddy. So what she said was, quote, I began a flirtatious relationship with an actor. P. Diddy called the actor and threatened him. The actor proceeded to call Ms. Ventura and tell her, you really need to call Diddy. So there you go, you guys. Diddy is crazy. His jealousy knows no bounds. He's got all these women, all these men that he's cheating on this girl with, right? But Lord heaven forbid that she get herself somebody else and they're not even together. He just never wanted her to move on at all. And y'all remember how he was when she got with her husband, right? The personal trainer. Like, when they first got together, he would post all these pictures of her talking about wanting her back, this, that, and the other. Like, it was so sick and so creepy. It's similar to what he did to Kim Porter as well when she passed away. You were my soulmate, my one true love. Meanwhile, you were having all these damn kids with all these damn women. You know, your kids with her are the same age as your kids with another woman and stuff like that. But this is your one true love. Please, please, please listen, Gwen. We're upping the production budget around here. We are upping the production budget around here. Let's get these sound effects going, y'all. So honestly, Diddy is just such a jealous, weird person. And that is always the case with these types of people where they don't even treat you right and where they're not even faithful to you, right? They're not even faithful to you. They're not acting right, but you cannot leave them. They want you to be a prisoner to them and their garbage treatment. And it's terrible. East Awesome says, low key, this prison has been good for the diddler. He has detox, lost weight, and consistent access to penis without coercion. Ah, oh my God. You know what? But here's the one thing that he's not getting. He's not getting the hair dye he needs, right? Because his hair is suffering. And then on top of that, he's not getting the toothpaste, the quality of toothpaste that he should be getting. Remember the last court sketch we had, how yellow his teeth were. His teeth were mellow yellow, Mountain Dew yellow. They were disgusting. Good morning, Hamlet's princess. So nice to have you. Happy Tuesday. But he says, I thought Michael B was the dude he hung off a balcony. Hung off a balcony. Kid Cudi's car blew up. Yup. And that was one of the things. Hung off a balcony. When I'm thinking hung off a balcony, I'm thinking Suge Knight, Vanilla Ice, trying to get the rights to Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby song. What? What? That is crazy. Ali says he also did it slightly to JLo. Dude, the fact that JLo even had to get involved with the law because of Diddy is just so crazy. Such an awful, awful, awful person. And thanks, Muffin. Jadisha says Diddy is so evil. I'm glad Cassie got away from him and she's happy and thriving with her little family. I wonder if she's given birth yet. And I'm so happy too. I know she announced only a couple months ago, so I wouldn't be surprised if she gave birth. Oh my God. Yeah. In the middle of all of this. Oh man, the timing is not great, is it? I hope she's still going to be able to like take time, away from nursing and whatnot to like, hit the stand and whatnot. I'm sure she will. She really wants to, right? But I forgot. I forgot about the timing. Thanks for reminding me. Steph says, I hate how much I thought that Diddler and Cassie were such an it couple when I was a kid. Listen, you and me both. This whole thing, right, is just another reminder of how all that glitters isn't gold. Even the housewives as well. You look at these relationships and whatnot, these marriages, this and that, and you go, wow, like she got herself a nice rich man. She's living in a mansion. She's got the nicest clothes. She's got a glam squad. She's got this and that. And then years later, when it all blows up and the ladies come and tell the truth about what was going on in these relationships, all you could do is thank your lucky star that you were in that relationship, right? So yeah, like do not be too hard on yourself, Steph. I thought the same thing, right? Especially as beautiful as Cassie was. I thought she was living the dream. I thought she was being pampered like a princess. Like I truly, truly did. And my heart really breaks for her. Now hearing what was really going on. And so you guys, as part of other people in the list that the lawyers were asking about, they included Lauren London, producer Dallas Austin, producer Hervé Pierre, choreographer Lorianne Gibson. That's the first I heard about Diddy being violent, was towards Lorianne when he was throwing chairs at her. They were also asking about singers Dawn Richard and Michelle Williams. I think one of you guys pointed out Michelle Williams in the chat. So there you go. She was mentioned as well. And of course, Cassie Ventura, right? So the judge presiding over this, he did have something to say. He was quoted as saying, I felt like I was reading an appendix from The Lord of the Rings when it comes to the star-studded cast and whatnot. So you guys, it's important to note that, just because these people are named here, at this stage in the trial, it doesn't mean that they are going to be guaranteed to be called as witnesses or even named again throughout the process. I think some of these people are being named as decoy, whereas other people will be brought up, specifically as well. Interestingly enough, JLo's name was not mentioned here, right? So I found that to be rather peculiar because, a lot of chatter and a lot of information about JLo was revealed even in Cassie's own lawsuit, right? So for her to not appear at all in this list of people, I think even Mike Myers, for example, was mentioned, but not JLo. Very, very odd. But I digress. Oops, I accidentally clicked something. My bad. Are we? Yeah, okay, we're still rolling. Ooh, that gave me a heart attack. So I do have a little bit of an update for you guys in regards to how Diddy fared in court. So like we mentioned a couple of morning reports ago, he has now been granted the right to wear like civilian clothes. So he showed up in like a navy blue, sort of like a suit, right? A blazer. And so his hair is still graying, but this time he did manage. Someone put some money on his books so that he could brush his teeth. So I don't have an access to the court photo, but like this time the teeth are not, mellow yellow. So it looks like he got that fixed. And so yeah, he was dressed. And then he had to take a bathroom break earlier than, he would have been normally allowed to. In fact, he asked to use the washroom to relieve himself. of his demon juice. And the judge initially said no, but then after was like, you know what, go ahead, use the washroom, because Diddy was nervous. And it does happen. Sometimes you are so anxious and it makes you have to use a washroom more, right? Like that happens to me too, right? Diddy was quoted as saying, "I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm a little nervous today," before he was shuffled away for 2 minutes to go ahead and use the washroom for his little potty break. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy indeed. Jaleesa says, "I hope Cassie's pregnancy is safe. This coming out might stress her out." And I hope so too. You know, this is a lot to deal with, pregnant or not, but especially pregnant. So, you know, I really hope that, you know, she is safe and she is protected, and that, you know, Diddy's, you know, demonic people are not out there trying to terrorize her life and continue to threaten her and her family. Bunny says Diddy doesn't want the jury to see a pregnant Cassie as a federal witness. Oh, Tia, you know what? I think that could be a very good point as well. That's a really, really good point. You know, like that'll only make her even more sympathetic. Ali says, Kid Cudi, when you think he should be mentioned as his, yeah, he was mentioned. He was. When do you think he should be mentioned? So I don't know if he's going to be a witness or not. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a witness though, because his car was literally blown up, right? And he was threatened by Diddy with the car being blown up. And we know that he really does not like Diddy. He has stayed out of the industry. I think this really derailed his career. So I wouldn't be surprised if he, now seeing the bravery of Cassie and the other people who are coming out to testify, I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to go ahead and step up alongside them. I can't hate on him if he doesn't, because of course, you know, that level of threat would be traumatic to anybody and you'd be scared moving forward. But I really do hope that, like, you know, he does come out as a witness, even if it's anonymous, but we'll see. Bunny says, I read an article, Mike Meyer witnessed Diddy hurting Cassie. Oh, Mike, really? How? Was he working on a project with him at the time? That's crazy. I was so surprised. May not be a witness, but I bet his deposition will be part of the evidence. Mike Myers is always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Wasn't he also the guy who was next to Kanye when Kanye was talking about George Bush doesn't care about black people? And he was just sitting there awkwardly. Now, why am I in it? Two Snap says, where's Farnsworth Bentley? You're right. Farnsworth would have knocked this out of the park. In fact, this theme is on the Met Gala theme was pretty much, you know, like it's what he lived and breathes, right? The entire time we knew him in the public eye, right? Demon juice indeed. You know, I just picture him burning a hole through the toilet with all that demonic energy pouring out of him. When is Cassie due? I have no idea. I get the feeling because she announced maybe 2 months ago. So typically you announce at 3 months, which means that she would be at 5 months. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So I would imagine that she would give birth in June, July, August, September, like August or something like that. I imagine she's going to have a summer baby, you know, or maybe she even announced later and she'd have it in July. I'm thinking anywhere from June to September, I'll put her at. Hey, Tyrell, so glad you managed to catch us on time. Muffin says, y'all, there are terabyte hours of video evidence. Just wow. And it's scary. And you know what? But thank God that this guy was such a fool that he decided to keep literally all of the evidence to make this an open and shut case. And then on top of that, he denied a plea deal as well. He's done. He's dusted. And wow, only 50 likes. Come on, y'all. If you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows you enjoy my content and it continues to push it out to the masses as well. Thank you, Tyrell, and to everybody liking this video. And Ali, you are a mess for that. Thank God that they are not bringing Jaguar White into this stuff to continue to muddy the waters. Oh my God. Oh, you know, let's tombe. I don't even know where to start with that chick. Now, you guys, I have a little bit of an update for you guys about Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. Do y'all remember how he was cheating on her during their engagement and her pregnancy, and then she decided to kick him to the curb? Well, now I'm finding out that he's living with her part-time as they are working on raising their daughter together. We still don't know the name of their daughter as far as I'm concerned. But apparently, you know, things are going well as far as him kind of being there half-time in the house to help with the care of their child. Megan Fox gave birth in March of 2025. So I think that the daughter is an Aries, by the way. And so they're not together. They're not even trying to be together. It's just all about being there and so that MGK could be present for his daughter. MGK, who's always been a very involved father. He has another daughter named Cassie, and she's, you know, much older now. I think she's late teens. And, he's always been really, really present in her life. So I'm not surprised that despite the fact that he's not the greatest partner, he's going to step up and continue to be a good father, to his new daughter. And so I'm really, really happy about that as well. I'm still so disappointed for Megan Fox. I always thought she could have done way better than Machine Gun Kelly, but for whatever reason, it doesn't seem as though she is aware of just how beautiful she is, And to me, it's the craziest thing, right? When you were the beauty standard for so long, right? Like, especially, the ego boost I would have gotten if I were Megan Fox and I were watching Love is Blind and I saw that girl talk about, I look like Megan Fox, and the way that guy jumped out of his seat, and pushed himself to get engaged to this girl because he wanted a girl that looked like you. Like, that is the reaction that you elicit because you are so damn beautiful. You know what I mean? So it makes me sad that this is the guy that she ultimately wound up settling for when she could have done a hell of a lot better. But listen, such is life, right? Such is life. I did have a last minute story that I wanted to bring up to you guys. By the way, that's why I kept this one up, because I was looking for the image. Shout out to Teen Mom Shade Room over on Threads. Apparently, Teen Mom Next Chapter star Kung Fu Portwood was crashing out on TikTok live. Apparently she was live for a couple of hours there last night. And she was saying that Gary cheated on her during their relationship, but we already knew that, right? We knew that Gary was trash to Amber. He was even trash to Christina because he was cheating on Christina with Amber as well, right? Lest we forget, right? So who cares about that? That was over a decade ago, right? But let's get into some of the other stuff that she was sharing in her TikTok live meltdown, right? So it turns out that she currently is not happy with her allies, or should I say her former allies, Macy Bookout and Caitlin Lowell. Apparently, Amber feels as though they turned their backs on her for money. And I don't know if it's because of the last scene on Teen Mom Next Chapter where they spoke to her daughter Leah about how they're disappointed that Amber is not a very present mother in her life or whatever, like things like that. I think that they were also mentioning on podcasts that they acknowledge that she is not the greatest mother or as present as she should be for her daughter, but that they still wanted to be her friends, right? So it seems as though to Amber, it doesn't matter if you want to stand by her despite her being a deadbeat to her child. Just so long as you acknowledge that she is a deadbeat, you have officially turned your back on her and you have officially betrayed her in her mind. And I find that to be very interesting, to be honest with you guys, right? So I wonder how Caitlin and Macy are going to move forward now with this in mind, because do you continue to defend somebody like this? Because not only is she a deadbeat to her children, 2 of them, right? She's got 2 and she's a deadbeat to both, but she's also an abuser to her significant others, right? We saw how she did Gary. We saw that one of the other boyfriends, he ran away, he became a missing person to get away from her. And that doesn't happen for no reason, right? So do y'all think, how do you defend all these things? How do you stay friends with somebody who does all these things and then all of a sudden acts like you turned your back on them just because you acknowledge that they're not the greatest person ever? Like, I would hope that at that point, that is when you decide to kind of wipe your hands clean and stop supporting that sort of behavior, right? But I digress. Ramster says, Amber and her tearless crying. Indeed, it never ends. By the way, I did finish editing my recap for Teen Mom Next Chapter, and I will be putting that up after today's morning report. So keep an eye out for that, okay, you guys? Tyrell, are you Canadian? Is this a Canadian maple leaf? You know how excited I get whenever I see like Canadians here, like they, a lot of them wear like backpacks or sweaters or stuff like that with a Canadian maple leaf. And I'll be like, oh my God, my people. Tyrell had said, sorry, give me a second. I zoomed in my screen, so now I have to wait for it to zoom out so I could read the comment. But let me see what she had to say. Why is my computer? Christina was also cheating on her spouse. And that is true too. Everybody involved in this love triangle, Amber, Christina, Gary, all 3 of them are trifling as hell. In fact, didn't Christina agree to have less time with her daughter just so that she could stay with Gary and on the television show or something like that? Like, all right, you're great to Leah, but you're not perfect. Kel says Amber has to get mentally stable. Well, here's the thing, especially when you watch the last episode of Teen Mom Next Chapter, it doesn't seem as though that is her her goal. It feels as though her goal is just to use her mental illnesses as an excuse, right? She even brought her mom, take your mom to your therapist day sort of a situation. So it just had the therapist explaining away all the like terrible things she does, as, oh, she's mentally ill. She could do that. And it was so annoying. Like Cynthia said, someone needs to take Amber's phone away. Like Betty LaBelle says, girl, focus on being a good mom. Exactly. It's too much. We're so tired of it. And her mom is tired of it too, y'all. Her mom says, she was even saying it to like the therapist and to Amber, like, you've been with this therapist for 8 years. I've seen no improvement. Like, what is going on? Right? Like, it's too much. It's too much. Right? And I completely agree with you as well, Tyrell. She's not perfect. She's great for Leah. She's exactly what Leah needed, but there's definitely is like, there are some skeletons in that closet as well. And you know what? Speaking of that, Jaleesa, how much longer do you think they're going to keep her on the show? She couldn't even go to New York with the rest of the cast to film over there because her daughter did not want her there. The network chose her daughter over her. So now the daughter's not filming with her. So which means that they need to get rid of, that storyline, get rid of Leah and Gary and Amber, right? I like Leah a lot. I love her. I adore her. She's so beautiful. She's so smart. She's so sweet. But now that like the thing with Amber is done, like the links, the ties have been cut. I think she should like not have to constantly talk about like the trauma of the abandonment issues that Amber has caused her. They can phase that storyline out and then, have some more screen time for the people that are left because there are already too many people on this cast. I don't know what y'all think about that, but that is just my, my inkling, right? Jessica says, I'm starting to wonder if she's fake symptoms to her child psychologist to get diagnosed. She has an excuse for being horrible. Listen, you know what? There's so many things about her that are so puzzling to me in general. I wonder so many things about her as well, including, and I wonder about that child psychologist of why is he even like sitting down treating a 30-something-year-old woman, like you're supposed to be dealing with children, not like what? Anyway, the whole thing just gives me a headache trying to think about it. You're from Toronto. Shout out to the TO. One of the girls in my salsa class, she told me that she lived for 11 years in Toronto and she became a dual citizen. So she got her citizenship in Canada before coming back to France. So shout out to y'all over there. Now, you guys, in my final story of the day, we got to talk about Dorit Kemsley and that foreclosure. Remember how she was in pre-foreclosure because she and her husband, they couldn't keep up with the mortgage. And then eventually they were able to pay it down. Well, now there's this like lawyer on Twitter who's really famous for having all the scoop on the housewives. His name is Ronald Richards. He spilled the tea on Twitter that she and PK might actually be back in pre-foreclosure before you know it, because they bought the home under Dorit's LLC. And there were also a lot of other people, co-signers on the mortgage and whatnot, right? But apparently the LLC has been suspended by the Franchise Tax Board, right? Which, the franchise, yeah. And when Ronald Richards spoke to the U.S. Sun, he said, and I quote, with the entity being suspended, it is most likely a loan default. For the FTB, Franchise Tax Board, to suspend the entity, they have not paid taxes or filed returns for a while. It is a bad symptom for the borrowers. A lender can default for non-monetary violations like non-payment of property taxes or if the entity is suspended. There are many covenants to a loan besides making the payments on time. I think if the lender finds out about this, they will order her to cure it. And if she doesn't, they will issue a new default. You know what makes me really upset about this? I feel like it's one thing to have money problems and to not be able to keep up with your housing costs, right? But to me, it becomes almost unforgivable that you have money problems. You have money problems. And instead of trying to save your home, which is the most important thing of all, you are so busy trying to buy all of these designer clothes, designer shoes, designer bags, luxury trips, trying to floss for everybody while you and your children might end up homeless. I think that is absolutely insane. You have got children that you need to be looking after and caring for. You've already got a fantastic closet, and now your profile has been raised enough that you can borrow clothes, right? Clogs. You can borrow clothes and not go into debt for them, right? So what is going on? I do not understand. I think that Dorit has some sort of a shopping addiction. Listen, we talk about alcohol addiction, we talk about rug addiction, but we don't really talk enough about shopping addiction. There are people who suffer from these. There really are people who will go broke because they are so addicted to shopping. And I think that Dorit Kemsley is one of those people. Just saying. Just saying. Very disappointing to hear. Like, I don't know, maybe they can go ahead and tear down that house if they repo it from her, if they foreclose on it and build, Mar-a-Lago on her house. Wouldn't that be funny? And that obviously is in reference to her Instagram likes. A mess. I'm sorry. I can't feel bad for Dorit. She's not a good person. She isn't. So I'm looking back at you guys' comments about like Leah and whatnot. Like, listen, I like Leah, and like under any other circumstances, or like if it were a different show, I'd be like, okay. But the thing is, for her to be on this show, she would have to talk about, the abandonment issues with Amber. And I feel like just the idea of her constantly being confronted with that. This season, she had to talk about it to her dad, her mom, Christina. Then she had to go and talk about it to Cheyenne one-on-one. Then she had to be ambushed by Macy and Kate. It's too much, right? In my opinion, anyway. So that's the thing that makes me really sad. Unless they move the storyline in another direction, right? Where we don't even mention Amber at all. If we just show this new kind of like family dynamic, right? Because that's the normal these days, right? Like blended families and whatnot. And in blended families, are you always talking about the ex, the baby mama, the baby daddy? No, right? So I really do hope that, they do, hey, Milan, find a way to film without Amber being mentioned at all, right? That would be lovely in my opinion as well, right? Venetia too. We don't need Amber. Get rid of her. Lord have mercy. Anyway, listen, you guys, I'm going to be back real soon. I have to hop off. But I'm going to be back. I'm putting up my video of my recap for Teen Mom Next Chapter. Then shout out to my channel members. We are going to finish off that last chapter of Caitlin and Tyler's biography. And then after that, I'm going to start filming the recap on Miss Tina's book. Okay, you guys? So if you enjoyed today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'm going to leave you with the ad read before I sign out, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, you guys.
The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Rothia. Rothia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today.